India wants, they're one of the highest taxed or tariff nations in the world. They make it almost impossible to do business.
So, a man who taxed tequila at 50%, peanut butter at 160%, and sour cream at nearly 300% calls India the problem. While others talk tariffs, India's busy shaping a $5 trillion economy and it pacing fast to become the world's third largest economy. India is a vibrant, competitive, and accessible market. But why? Without wasting time, let's dive into the hard facts. There are two different ways to calculate tariffs. One is the simple average. It looks at all product lines equally. The other, more realistic one, is the trade-weighted average tariff. It considers what's actually being traded in volume. That second one is the real indicator of how open a country's market truly is. And by that measure, India's average weighted tariff is just 4.6%. Yes, only 4.6%. That means for every $100 of goods imported, India adds just $4.60 on average. Yes, really. Lower than Vietnam, 5.1%. Lower than Indonesia, 5.7%. Lower than Bangladesh, 10.6%. Almost the same as the European Union, 5%. So, what's really being taxed? What all does US exports to India? If India were truly protectionist, how does it treat critical US exports? The top 6 US export categories to India. The tariff on crude oil is 2.75%. Machinery, 7.5%. Coal, 5%. Pharma and med equipment, 5 to 7.5%. Aircraft parts, 2.5%. Fertilizers, 7.5 to 10%. Together, these 6 sectors make up 45% of total US exports to India. An average tariff, it is below 5% and rarely exceeds 10%. So, impossible to do business? Really? India has once again cut tariffs in January 2025 on motorcycles, bourbon whiskey, carrier-grade switches, synthetic flavors. Even the 6% equalization levy on online services is gone. A major plus for US tech firms. But how did India reach here? Let's understand India's 30-year liberalization journey. What if I told you, just 30 years ago, buying a computer in India meant waiting months? Prices were sky high. Imports were rare. Even toothpaste brands were limited. Then came 1991. India was on the brink of financial collapse. We were still recovering from colonial economics, from license Raj, from a currency crisis that shook our foundations. We had just enough dollars to pay for 2 weeks of imports. And we opened the economy with LPG reforms. In 1990, India's weighted average tariff was 56%. Tariffs were brought down to 28% by 1999, then lower still with every passing decade. Today, the average tariff is now just 4.6%. Well, we reduced our trade-weighted tariffs by over 90% in 3 decades. In every nation, the farmer comes first. They say India's agricultural tariffs are too high. But let's ask a simple question. Is there any nation in the world that doesn't protect the hand that feeds it? Even high-income nations do it. Switzerland charges 28.5% tariff on farm goods. Norway, 31%. South Korea, 57%. Iceland, 23.5%. Then there is India, home to one of the largest agrarian populations in the world. A country where more than half the people still depend on farming. A nation that leads the world in producing milk, wheat, rice, pulses, and spices. And for this, we keep an average agricultural tariff of 39%. Just enough to safeguard our farmers against global price crashes, supply shocks, and food security risks, unpredictable monsoons. Let's talk about non-tariff barriers. Non-tariff barriers, hidden rules like product standards, safety checks, packaging norms, and licenses. And for India, they're actually simpler and fairer than most major economies. Now, take food safety. There's a global benchmark called Codex, set by the FAO and WHO to guide safe levels of residues like pesticides in food. Out of 32 Indian food safety limits, 24 match or are even softer than Codex. In Japan, only 15 out of 52 do. And in the EU, just 6 out of 58. Now look at China, over 2,600 trade rule notifications in just 8 years. 80% of imports must follow local Chinese rules, many of which are unclear or hard to meet. In the last 10 years, India has worked hard to make trade rules simpler and faster by cutting red tape and aligning its regulations with global standards. So, next time someone says, India is impossible to do business with, say it is a $4 trillion engine racing toward third place in the global economy. Not by blocking trade, but by playing fair, competing hard, and staying open. This is Make in India, Trade with India, Lead with India. And in the global market of tomorrow, India isn't the problem. India is the partner. Sorry, Mr. Trump.